Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, starts with a weather impact alert.
Now at 10, we begin with the forecast. The heat and humidity sticks around, but we are more concerned about the strong round of storms set to hit tomorrow afternoon. This is a look at the future radar, and that's why our team has issued a weather impact alert over strong storms, dangerous heat, and oppressive humidity. Sounds fun, right? Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brent Harden. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with what to expect from this system and when it all gets started, Rach?
Yeah, we had that classic July heat outside today, but tomorrow feeling more uncomfortable as the heat index gets up between 95 to near triple digits. But we also have a round of thunderstorms that will come through, as Brent mentioned, between 2 to 8 p.m. That's the window. So if you are out maybe trying to beat the heat, you're by a pool, you're at the beach, lucky you. Make sure you have a way of getting weather alerts so you know when it's time to head inside. So there is a heat advisory in effect, and we're also following that storm threat as well. You'll see the heat advisory in effect for everybody except the shoreline of New London County. We don't quite hit that criteria, but let me tell you, we're going to be sweating statewide nonetheless. Temperatures right now are in the 70s. It is not going to be as cool tonight as it has been the last few nights and following mornings. And this is the line of thunderstorms that we're following that will get closer to us as we head through later tomorrow. Low temperatures tonight will drop into the lower to middle 70s, so it's a mild start to the day. Rising levels of humidity by noon. Temperatures are in the low 90s. And notice there's that chance for a scattered shower or thunderstorm. And here's a look at the heat index, up around triple digits starting around noon and continuing into the early evening. We'll talk about when temperatures cool back down again and when showers and storms return. Your full forecast is coming up, Brent.
All right, Rach, and stick with the Fox 61 Weather Impact team for hour-by-hour updates throughout tomorrow's storm. Keep up with us on air, online, on the free Fox 61 News app, and streaming anytime on Fox 61 Plus. In New London, tenants are raising concerns tonight following a fire that ripped through their apartment complex last weekend. They want their management company to make changes to make them feel safer. Fox 61's Tim Latow spoke with some of them and talked exclusively with the city fire marshal, who says everything about the complex is up to code.
Rubble still lines the sidewalk days after that destructive fire here at the Crocker House apartment building. And just like the shattered windows, some residents say their sense of safety is now shattered too.
You know, it's probably just one of those pranks again. So it's kind of like the cry wolf situation. But this time when it was pulled, it smelled smoke.
Xavier Quinones recalls the fire that ripped through his apartment building last weekend. The fire spread to 4 units, according to the New London Fire Department, and 13 tenants were treated for smoke inhalation.
In each unit, there are smoke alarms, local smoke alarms not tied into the system, that will activate, and that should alert tenants to then leave, and as they leave, the fire alarm needs to be activated. Pull the pull station by each exit.
But Fire Marshal David Heine says when fire crews arrived, the fire alarm had not been pulled. He says that lack of action delays response time and allowed the fire to spread, exposing more tenants.
We'd like to see it done before we get there, just as soon as possible. Like I said, the system is compliant with the fire code, but if you see smoke, smell smoke, please pull the fire alarm.
While Fire Marshal Heine says the investigation could take another 2 weeks, he insists the manual fire alarm system is up to code. Having in-unit smoke alarms tied into the building's system causes more false alarms, which he says creates another safety issue.
It tends to desensitize people to the fire alarm when it goes off, and then people don't pay attention to it. So it's kind of a catch-22. So it's something that should be looked at by other code officials and professionals.
Despite false alarms, some tenants say they would feel safer having a fire alarm system connected to individual smoke detectors.
It probably would help if there were smoke detectors like in the halls, in like common areas. That way we're not really relying on anyone noticing it.
The management company that owns Crocker House declined an on-camera interview, but says Cintas is the company they use for quarterly fire prevention checks. The Fire Department says fire extinguishers are stored in hazard areas like the boiler and trash rooms, so they're not misused. Fire Marshal Heine encourages tenants to reach out to him if they continue to have concerns. In New London, Tim Latow,
Fox 61.
State police and Stonington police say the man killed in a motorcycle crash on I-95 yesterday was a suspect in a bank robbery just moments before his death. The bank robbery was reported around 11:20 in the morning, and police say the suspect, Sean Toomey, took off on a blue motorcycle. 13 minutes later, state police were on the scene of the crash on I-95 near exit 91. Toomey slammed into the back of a tractor trailer and died at the scene. Both the crash and the bank robbery are under investigation tonight. A man is dead after a crash on I-84 in Middlebury. Police say 39-year-old Jeffrey LePage lost control of his Subaru and hit some large rocks in the median. He later died at a hospital. State police say they are still trying to figure out why he went off the road, so please call them if you saw the crash or have dash cam footage of it. Well, Yale Medicine and Yale New Haven Hospital say they will stop giving medications as part of gender-affirming treatment to patients in its pediatric gender program. They're now on the second Connecticut health system to do so. Connecticut's Children's made the announcement yesterday. Yale New Haven health officials tell us the change follows careful monitoring of federal policies on gender-affirming treatments and called it a difficult decision. Yale still pledged to offer mental health and transitional support to those patients. The program did not offer any surgical interventions. Well, since the arrest of a Waterbury stepmother accused of holding a child captive for decades, state officials have called for more transparency from DCF. The agency says it followed standards in place at the time, but lawmakers say that's not enough. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson is in Waterbury with what they want to know.
Since she's been arrested, Kimberly Sullivan has been in the spotlight as her and her team try to fight the charges against her. But as prosecutors point the finger at Sullivan, lawmakers like Senator Stephen Harding are pointing the finger at the Department of Children and Family Services. Senator Harding and other minority Republicans believe there's been a lack of transparency from DCF about their investigation and a lack of urgency to release any possible findings to the public. After Sullivan's arrest in March, the department released a statement saying, quote, "There were no records located in that system related to this case. Unsubstantiated investigations and investigation protocols are expunged in the electronic case record after 5 years unless a subsequent investigation is substantiated in accordance with state law." However, the department mentioned records were found in the archived closed records and they'd be reviewing them and making any reforms to practices as needed. In DCF's most recent statement issued to Fox 61, they said, quote, "Our review to date shows that our case practice was consistent with agency standards at the time and that we did not deviate from our policies and practices. It is worthy to note that our policies and practices have significantly evolved over the past 2 decades, and we are prepared to discuss those changes." Commissioner Jody Hill-Lilly says a meeting has been scheduled with Senate leadership over DCF's review of the case, but Harding believes meetings like this should be made public.
From what I understood, that they were going to look further into it and find some records beyond the 5-year period to really track down what occurred here. Now, 4+ months later, when there's still no answers, even an update would be probably more progress on an update to the public than what we have, frankly, now. You know, having meetings behind closed doors at this point on an issue that is as tragic as what occurred here, it could potentially expose, you know, some liability, unfortunately, on the state of Connecticut and others who probably should have done things to protect this man.
Senator Harding says by putting more pressure on DCF, he hopes to get more answers as to what their investigation has uncovered. In Waterbury, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
Well, 3 dogs have been found abandoned and starving inside a vacant apartment in Hartford. The Hartford Animal Shelter is caring for them now and shared these photos. We've reached out for an update on how the dogs are doing tonight. The shelter says they're in desperate need now of supplies since their shelter is near capacity. They're asking for bedding, toys, and long-lasting chews to help ease the stress. Well, Fairfield is preparing to say goodbye to First Selectman Bill Gerber. Town officials say the public is welcome to attend his funeral and help celebrate his life and legacy. Gerber passed away earlier this month after complications from brain surgery. He was 60 years old and had served as Fairfield's first selectman since last November. A public celebration of his life is set for Friday at 10 a.m. It'll be held at Sacred Heart University's Mertier Family Arena. The invitation to the public was extended by acting First Selectwoman Christine Vitale. The burial will be private. Well, one of the first superstars of professional wrestling died today. Fox 61's Tim Lammers looks at Hulk Hogan's incredible career in the ring and out of it.
He was born Terry Bollea, but he got his stage name Hulk after fellow wrestlers noticed he was bigger than Lou Ferrigno, the bodybuilder who played the Incredible Hulk on TV. Now, Hogan wasn't a graceful or skilled wrestler, but boy was he a showman. He became such a crowd favorite that Hulkamania became a cultural wave in the 80s.
We've got hundreds of thousands of Hulkamaniacs. We're gonna make Woodstock look like a backyard barbecue, brother.
And his success became the World Wrestling Federation's success, vaulting wrestling into the mainstream, with Hogan as its champion and its family-friendly all-American hero.
Train, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, be true to yourself, true to your country, be a real American.
The peak of his wrestling career came in WrestleMania 3 when he body slammed Andre the Giant in front of nearly 80,000 screaming fans.
Look at this! He's I don't believe it!
Out of character, Hogan admitted that his level of stardom couldn't last forever.
They're excited as heck to see you, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and thank God it's still happening. What if it wasn't?
In 1994, Hogan's career was tarnished when he was forced in court to admit he had used steroids. Hogan tried to rebrand himself as a reality TV star, the overprotective dad to 2 kids in Hogan Knows Best.
If we're dysfunctional, we're a normal dysfunctional family.
But that family image was rocked after his longtime marriage ended, in a video later leaked online showing him having sex with his best friend's wife. Hogan sued the website Gawker for invasion of privacy for leaking that photo and settled for $31 million, bankrupting Gawker in the process.
I think we made history today because I think we protected a lot of people from maybe going through what I went through.
In the ring, on TV, or even in the courts, Hulk Hogan was a compelling entertainer who fulfilled the celebrity dream he had for himself.
When it's in your blood, you'll do about anything to make it and get the job done.
Hulk Hogan was 71 years old.